Thank you, Provost Van Dulman. Next, it is my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Khadijah Ali-Coleman. Khadijah, I'm so excited I'm messing up your name. You'll know why in a minute. Oh my goodness. Dr. Ali-Coleman earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from UMBC in 1995 in Interdisciplinary Studies and is the 2024 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient. She serves as the 2023 to 2026 Poet Laureate of Prince George's County, Maryland. She is the author of the poetry collections For the Girls Who Do Too Much and The Summoning of Black Joy. She is also the author of the children's book, Mariah's Maracas, and co-editor of the book, Homeschooling Black Children in the U.S. More than a dozen of her plays have been presented publicly in venues throughout the country. Dr. Ali-Coleman is founder of Liberated Muse Arts Group, a touring multidisciplinary arts organization, and Black Writers for Peace and Social Justice, a 501c3 organization that leads the charge in providing transformative learning experiences for writers dedicated to advancing principles of peace and social justice through their work. Dr. Ali-Coleman went on to receive a Master of Arts in Communication Studies from Towson University and her PhD from Morgan State University. Currently, she is an Associate Professor of English at Coppin State University. Please join me in welcoming our graduation speaker, Dr. Khadijah Ali-Coleman.
Hello, class of 2024. I shout congratulations to you, yes. And I send greetings to those present, including the Board of Trustee representative, our UMBC faculty, staff, and students, and to the family members of today's graduates. Give it up for yourselves. I am so thrilled to be here, if you can't tell. I'm extremely happy to be here and to thank you personally, as it is a proven fact. The more esteemed and academically rigorous each class at UMBC becomes, you actually make my diploma more valuable. So thank you. I attended UMBC almost 30 years ago, and I heard some of you gasp when that was said before, because I know that was before many of you were born. But I graduated in 1995, and since then, UMBC has added 22 new majors, created 42 minors, and 31 undergraduate certificates. Also, what is different from when I was at UMBC was the president. It was at the end of my first year that then Provost Freeman Rabowski became president of UMBC for over 30 years. So it is my extreme honor to have been personally invited by our current UMBC president, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby, to come and present to you the fourth iteration of the commencement speech that I have written to honor you today. Let's give it up for our president. So you did hear right. It has taken me many drafts to write before settling on the message I bring to you today. Again, I want to thank Dr. Shears Ashby for the invitation to speak with you today, and I'm so excited to share a message with you that comes directly from my heart and has been properly vetted by my 21-year-old daughter, Kari, who is also a fellow class of 2024 college graduate too. So you never can give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves again. So we know that many of you started your college journey while we were in the throes of a health quarantine, and so this culminates just a celebration, and it's sweeter considering how it began. So I'm so glad that you're here today. When sharing this fourth version of my speech with my daughter Kari, I was reminded to keep it simple, keep it memorable, and keep it relevant. So what makes it relevant, I wondered. I asked her if it would be relevant if I talked about careers and dream jobs after graduation. She said, "I don't dream of jobs. I don't dream of working. I hear the applause. So I'm like, man, okay, so what do I, a Gen Xer, say to that? I was cultivated to think in terms of work, career, and professional development. On the other hand, I was also encouraged to think outside of the box, be innovative, build skills using technology while creating the technology through eclectic practice and multidisciplinary approaches. Technology and work were not the same for me when I graduated from UMBC with my BA. 29 years ago, I graduated from UMBC at 21 years old, the first of my mother's 5 children to graduate from college. The World Wide Web was a new thing in 1995. Some of us had these things called email accounts, but there was no social media like we know social media today. No Facebook or Instagram, definitely no TikTok. We danced a lot back then, but thank God no one was recording every living second of our tomfoolery back then. We weren't on display and visually accessible to the world like you all have been throughout your lifetime. The rapidly evolving technological landscape has given us the false impression that constant visibility is the same as active community participation and positive impact. And we are being seen more often by those outside of our immediate environment. But what are we doing while others are watching? So all of this came to mind when I reflected on my daughter's words. I don't dream of jobs, I don't dream of working, she said, okay. But I do dream of being happy and free. Freedom. What does a free person look like in 2024? How does one aspire to be free and liberated in today's world that is inundated daily with persuasive messages through computers in our pockets, the music we listen to, the billboards positioned in our view when we travel, and even the receipts we snatch off the automated machines in the self-checkout aisles? When we think of freedom, we automatically think of body agency. This hat is not loving me right now. But freedom first starts as a mindset. James Baldwin said, the world is before you and you need not take it or leave it as it was when you came in. Baldwin would have turned 100 years old if he were still alive, and his words suggest that we have the agency every day to make an impact in ways that can affect our immediate environment as well as the world at large. Believing you have the ability to impact the world around you is the first step in developing a freedom mindset. Your education at UMBC has most likely supported this journey towards having a freedom mindset, and you may not have fully realized that yet. Like my daughter, I wasn't dreaming of a job yet or thinking of impact when I started at UMBC. I was thinking about what I was going to major in and what this college experience at UMBC had in store for me. I volunteered with UMBC's Choice Program, tutoring local youth in areas of reading and language arts. I was a part of the Black Student Union. I wrote for the Retriever newspaper. I wrote for the BSU's Voices literary magazine. I'm not humble bragging. But I was learning about myself and finding out what I was good at. I recognized that writing was a skill that carried me into a variety of new experiences. I learned about nonprofits while I was at UMBC. I could make an impact through my relationships and engagement. I was told then that my writing was top-notch for someone my age, and so I did these things well at UMBC, and I decided I wanted to use my agency to take these skills to the world at large and see how these skills showed up. What I realized is that there are the skills I had grown or developed at UMBC to perform my job, but the skill I needed to then learn out in this world was the one regarding setting boundaries and making decisions about not only making myself optimal to be chosen for a job, but becoming discerning about what type of job was going to be a fit for me. As a UMBC graduate, you are a hot commodity in the job market. And I'm not just saying that because you're cute and I like you. Many of you are probably entrepreneurs already, coming up with your next great idea that you're going to launch into the world. It took me some time over the years to flex my muscle as a social entrepreneur. Many of you are like I was when I graduated, stepping out into the world of work, trying to fit in. But what happens when you do fit in and get that job? What happens when you build your discernment muscle and find a job that works for you? How will you use your impact? Toni Morrison said, when you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you were free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. This is not a grab bag candy game. In essence, Morrison is advocating for social responsibility, encouraging this freedom mindset by reminding those who have benefited from opportunities to use their success to create more opportunities for others, especially those who have been marginalized or disadvantaged. This call to action is rooted in a deep sense of interconnectedness and collective progress. During our time at UMBC, we experienced this advocacy on our behalf when UMBC staff and faculty members recommended us for opportunities, whether they were internships, residencies, research opportunities, specialty programs, grants and scholarships, or special trips off campus. I'm really trying not to cry because I have some of my mentors on stage with me today. I want to give it up for Yvette Mosey-Ross, who was my admissions counselor and is now the vice provost. In the job roles you move into, consider how your authority can impact someone else's life in a memorable way. How are you freeing someone else? As a poet, it only makes sense that I end my speech with a poem that reiterates my points. And what about these jobs, you ask? How do we find them? How do we determine they are a fit? How do we know we have found a place worthy of our joy and excitement? How do we understand what is compatible for a long or short stay? Do we dismiss an offer immediately or accept it with dismay? What about these jobs, you ask? The ones we worked so hard to get, the ones we prepared ourselves to be chosen for, sometimes with very little discernment. The jobs that make us make a decision between our mental health and a decent pay, the ones who work us unmercifully, family time always on delay. What about these jobs, you ask? What about these careers? What about this work you have been studying for years upon years? How do you make it matter? How do you decide on what to show care? How do you create something out of nothing that is there? The answer is the question, is the journey, is the find. The answer is in your habits, in your beliefs, and in your mind. The answer relies on your values, your decisions, and your ideas, on your self-worth. The answer is in what ideas you nurture, then implement, and then give birth. And our power is the agency to make a change in where we land. We have the tools to make space for the skills we have developed and the knowledge we understand. We are within this period of time where others would tell us where to go and what to do, but no one knows what is your best route because no one else is you. What about these jobs, you ask? What next must you do? My advice is to make the decision to know your mind, know your own heart, and stay true to your vision for you. Your next step in your journey is a quest to impact this world, this nation, or your local community. Your next step will be a testament to what you learned while earning your degree. Your learning will continue despite you leaving the walls of a classroom. The world will become your learning lab, whether in real time or on a Zoom. You will be tested to deliver your best or worst version of yourself. You will be given options choosing between integrity or bundles of hoarded wealth. These jobs will not be the defining factor of all you have become. It will ultimately be based on your interior self and the moral compass you lead from. What about these jobs, my friend? What is next for you? All that I ask is to thine own self be true. Free somebody. Liberation always. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Now, do you understand why I struggled to introduce her? Oh my goodness. That was simply extraordinary. Simply extraordinary. I am so grateful for you, grateful for your daughter, and just the talent that you just, and the heart that you just displayed. What a wonderful, wonderful commencement speech. I don't know about you, but I graduated a long time ago, and I cannot tell you what the speaker said. I cannot tell you. But today, I am confident that these students will remember what you've said. So thank you so very much. And now I ask Provost Van Dulman to join me for the conferring of degrees.